What's going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast. We just went through opening day, so we're going to be looking at 3 teams that are heading up, 3 teams that are heading down, and 1 team to be on the lookout for. And while, yes, it is early to start, this is going to be a weekly Friday series going over and recapping the teams of the week. So we're going to begin with the first up. And when it comes to the first up, it is my very own New York Yankees. When you look at what the Yankees went through on opening day, this was the perfect storm for this organization. You got top flight pitching, starting with your ace, Garrett Cole, who was absolutely dominant, had a ton of strikeouts, didn't give up any runs, no home runs, which was his bugaboo in 2022. You also got very timely hitting and big home runs from some key contributors, including the reigning defending AL American League, the most valuable player, Aaron Judge. This is also an opportunity because you now got to witness the debut of your number one, your top prospect in Anthony Volpe. So after every Yankee game, make sure you keep it locked into the Baseball Banter Broadcast, as I'm going to be bringing you my 3-out series in terms of the top 3 things that I have taken away from the Yankee game. So keep sure to be locked in by hitting that subscribe button. Now, we move on to the first down. Now, that first down is the Atlanta Braves. Now, I say this, yes, the Braves would go on to victory against the Washington Nationals in the 7-2 contest. But the reason why they find themselves on this down list is because there was an injury to Max Fried. Their opening day starter would leave early in this ball game with a hamstring injury, and manager Brian Snitker is hopeful that it won't be anything more than just one missed start. But as we know, the way that this sport tends to work out, it may end up being a much longer stint and could potentially be a season-long problem if things don't heal the proper way, or if he comes and tries to rush back. So for Atlanta, they find themselves on the down list because of the injury to Max Fried. As we move on to the second up, it is the Toronto Blue Jays. The Blue Jays would find themselves involved in what we're now coining the game of the night. So make sure you keep it locked in to this Baseball Banter Broadcast and all our social media outlets as we discuss who had the best game of the night. Now, in this instance, it was the Toronto Blue Jays. They would battle, they get an early lead, they would surrender that lead, and then they would continue to fight and claw their way into a 10-9 victory over the St. Louis Cardinals. This is a Blue Jays team that many pundits and baseball fans expect to be the number 1 team coming out of the American League East. This is without a doubt a powerhouse offense, a completely strong bullpen and starting rotation. This is a very well-balanced and complete team. They would add some left-handed bats to that lineup, which was a bit of a weakness for them in 2022, and are now poised to be one of the very best teams in Major League Baseball. Now, for the Blue Jays, this was a very impressive opening day. They got key contributions from several members throughout the course of this game, and for them, it is going to be an opportunity for them to really put onto display how talented they are as an organization. So, without a doubt, a very plus situation it turned out for the Blue Jays on opening day, and that's why they're on the up list. Now, as we look at the second down, it is their opponents, the St. Louis Cardinals. We just went over the fact that this was the game of the night. There's no doubt about it. The Cardinals taking the loss in this back and forth contest is a big time blow. Now, it is just the first game of the year. There's 161 more games to be played. So for Cardinals fans, there's nothing to fret, nothing to worry about, except potentially with the early exit by Wilson Contreras. Yes, it is listed as a bruised right knee, and he will likely be in the lineup for the Cardinals when they play tomorrow. But there's no doubt about it that knee injuries, especially for a catcher, can be quite problematic. So it's going to be something that we'll have to pay attention to see just how long this injury is going to linger and affect the newest Cardinal, Wilson Contreras. As we look at the third up, it is the Seattle Mariners. This Mariners team is hungry, they're aggressive, and they want to dethrone the Houston Astros. There's no doubt about it that this is a team that is looking to compete and be one of the very best in baseball. Last night in their game against the Cleveland Guardians, there was very little feeling in the air that the Mariners were not going to win. That's how confident this team seemed. That's how they played. It was a very, very strong contest for the Mariners. And with that, they find themselves on the up list because they are a team that is really being touted as one of the best. They've done a lot to change the way that this team has been run over the last several years, and now are in a position to really be a postseason contender on a yearly basis. So for the Mariners, they find themselves on the up list after opening day. Now, staying in that division, but heading on the downside of it, is the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Now, yes, it is one game. And yes, many pundits, myself included, believe that 2023 is the year of Shohei Ohtani. I think that both in the Cy Young competition and in the most valuable player competition, the name of Ohtani will be ringing throughout all of Major League Baseball. And he put on a performance that was of the ages last night. He would have 10 strikeouts through 6 innings of work and departed with no earned runs given up. But as we know, the Angels have been a team that has faltered under the timeline and the tenure of Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani's time together in Anaheim. And likewise, last night, they would drop a 2-1 ball game to the Oakland A's. Now, it is early to be making such declarative statements about the Angels, but we know that this is the final contracted season that the Angels are going to have Shohei Ohtani. And Shohei is likely going to walk. Let's call a spade, and let's be honest about that. So with that in mind, the Angels really have to put the pedal to the metal. They have to go extremely hard to really push and make a deep postseason run if they're going to want to have any opportunity to keep Shohei Ohtani long term. So because they don't necessarily have that surefire thing going for them outside of Ohtani, and if Trout can stay healthy, then they really have to capitalize on these games against these teams that are rebuilding squads like the Oakland A's. So dropping the first contest, while it may not be indicative of how the entire season is going to go, is not a good start, which is why the Angels find themselves on the down list. And we round out this episode, this installment of the Baseball Banter Broadcast, looking at one team to be on the lookout for, and it is the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, it may seem crazy to think, but the Dodgers are somehow underrated at this point. With all the moves and all the noise that has been made by the San Diego Padres over the last several seasons, the Dodgers are now seeming like the overlooked team. I was very critical of LA this offseason, feeling that they did not do enough to address their in-house potential woes with their lack of their depth. LA has done a very good job over the last several years of building up a level of depth to where they can withstand some injuries. Now, when it comes to the losses that they've had in free agency over the last several years, the loss of Corey Seager a couple of seasons ago, now Trey Turner, and never really addressing the shortstop area. They were going to go into this season with Gavin Lux as the main guy. He is now out for the year with a torn ACL. So Dodgers are a team to be paying attention to. They obviously have the financial might and resources to be able to do anything that they need to. We know that they're going to be extremely aggressive on the Shohei Ohtani front, whether it be a trade or after the season when they try to sign him as a free agent. But the Dodgers came out and made an emphatic statement last night against the Diamondbacks. Yes, it is the Diamondbacks, who are an up-and-coming team. But it's with that the Dodgers' 8-2 victory stands to make such an impressive point. That this team is not a team to be overlooked, despite all the noise and the pundits that are putting the Padres ahead of them. There's no doubt about it that for the Dodgers, being able to make the emphatic statement that we are still the number one team in the National League West was really declared last night. So it's going to be interesting to see how the entire season works out in that NL West battle. But for now, the Dodgers are a team to be on the lookout for. Now, baseball fans, I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings down in the comments. Who are the 3 teams that are headed up in your mind, and who are the 3 teams that are projecting to go down? Let me know these thoughts down in the comments or find me over on Twitter, and we can keep the conversation rolling at banter_baseball. If you want to find more from us, you can check out our social media channels by the same name as the channel, Baseball Banter Broadcast. If you want to show more support, we have a corresponding article up on this video on laracuenteledger.com that I will leave links to in the show notes below, that you can check out and see more detailed reporting as to why these teams ended in the positions that they did. Now, beyond that, if you want to show more support for us and help us continue to grow, head over to our merchandise shop, baseballbanterbroadcast.com, where you can use any one of the number of promo codes that we have on site to be able to save on some banter merch, so you can rep your favorite baseball channel here at the Baseball Banter Broadcast. Now, if you haven't already and you're following and you're liking what you're seeing from us, hit that subscribe button down below and the bell for post notifications. Most of our audience is not yet subscribed to this YouTube channel. So in order to help us continue to grow, to be able to bring you the kind of content that you're loving from this channel already, hit the subscribe and the bell if you haven't already. So I want to thank you once again for tuning in. Make sure you keep it locked in on to the next broadcast as we continue to banter about the world of baseball. Peace.